What's up guys, Rupert here. Welcome back to David's Feed. This episode is cram-packed full of awesome venomous snakes and it's personally one of my favourites, so sit back and enjoy the show.
Tonight we're at this mangrove forest here in southern Thailand. It's a very cool habitat that supposedly has a high population of banded kraits, which is a species I'd really be happy to see today. There's also going to be mangrove vipers because those are found pretty much anywhere that has mangrove habitat in southern Thailand. And there's also a really rare species of keelback which we don't really care about, but Rupert is really obsessed with finding, so there's a chance of that too.
Look man, you can only find it in this bit of Thailand.
Yeah.
Alright boys, we ready?
Yes, let's go. Find some cool snakes.
And so we walked off into the night. As always, snakes were not the only thing we saw. Among large monitor lizards and tree-dwelling crabs were the watchful eyes of a Sunder slowloris, a nocturnal and venomous primate native to Southeast Asia.
So we're just kind of walking, scanning the branches for perps, and the fasciatus, or the banded kraits, they would likely be on the mud on the floor. Later on there's going to be some water too, which is where I'm guessing we'll be most likely to find those.
Oh, right there, that little pale thing in amongst the bush is a mangrove pit viper, which the farmer is going to try and get. Where is he? Wait, are you not going to go closer, farmer?
No, the mud is like really slippery there.
Mosquitoes in my nose.
Yeah, I think that's really good what you're doing.
Oh. Mosquito in my mouth.
Just swallow. Ah, there he goes.
This is so precarious.
Yeah, you're gonna get him.
You got him, you got him. Right, now let's take the stick from him. You got it, David? Careful with my feet, it's gonna catch my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now bring it down here and start talking, boy.
Alright, so here's a...
Oh, boss.
Can someone take the light?
Yeah, got it.
Wait. So this is a mangrove pit viper.
Right, not near me, Kang. Not near me.
Trimerosaurus purpureomaculatus, which is infamous for being one of the most defensive and bitey of all the vipers in Thailand, which for the most part is true. They are definitely more defensive than the majority of other species. This one's not very big yet, he's only a sub-adult. They can get about, I reckon, like twice as long as this. Trying to see if it's a male or a female. These are a bit harder to tell than most other members of the genus.
Alright, how bad is the venom on this species?
Their venom isn't really horrible. I mean, it's also unlikely to kill you, just as any Trimerosaurus really, but I have heard that it is a decent bit worse than Albolabris or something, for example.
And Albolabris is known to be quite a medically significant viper in the region.
Yeah. I actually know a guy in Bangkok who was bitten by one of these recently, and he had some pretty bad necrosis and lost part of his finger. And I think also due to it being a generally large viper, well, larger than most of the trims, the amount of venom injected would on average be a lot higher too.
But they are the kind of species that people don't bump into too often.
Yeah, no, they have a very human-friendly habitat, not really coming into close proximity to people too much.
Friendly in the way that it's friendly that people don't see them.
Yeah, they're just in these mangrove forests where, you know, people don't usually go too much, unless it's like fishermen or something. Alright, he seems to be calming down just a little bit. I want to see if I can hold him. carefully without necessarily getting bit. That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, don't worry about talking to us. Just concentrate on your thing, man.
Oh, you see? When they rear back like that, that's when they're getting defensive. Oh. The Krabi ones I worked with were quite a bit more.
Yeah, I've heard the ones in Krabi and Langkawi are pretty aggressive. But the ones I've worked with in Trang and here have always been quite gentle snakes as they go.
I mean, most even like famously aggressive snakes can calm down quite a lot if you're gentle with them.
I think the reason a lot of famously aggressive snakes get their reputation is because I reckon a lot of people catch these with like tongs when they're on mangrove boats and stuff. They don't really get to experience them up close and see that if you're gentle and you catch them very gently and you handle them in a, you know, a way that supports their body and doesn't make them feel threatened, that they're just the same as any other snake, you know, extremely reluctant to bite.
Yeah. Alright, so we're just letting the perp go, and this moment Rupert spotted a crate. Where is it?
Right there, dude.
Yeah.
We just need to hurry up.
shining.
I will. I'll have the light on the whole time. They're quite gentle, so don't worry. Just grab it by the tail and get it out of there. A bit further. Nice. Do you want like a stick or something? Someone to
I
provide?
think I got it.
Okay.
This rock is highly slippery. Just need to fix my hair real quick. Could someone go a bit over there and shine?
Yeah. I can only light from above. I'm going to crank the lighting up though.
Is that okay? Yeah. It's a bit wrapped.
Alright, that's
got
it.
him out. Very nice.
Okay, I'm filming you on a pure vertical view with your very own Bungarus fasciatus. First one you ever caught in the wild, right, David?
Yes, I've seen one once before which got away, but so we're not counting that, so this is definitely my lifer. I'm gonna try to climb back up here without losing him.
Like I said, man, these are like a dream snake when it comes to being gentle and easy to handle, so... Oh, look at him go. And can you believe that? Right after we finished filming with the mangrove pit viper, I just look over the side and see this incredible species.
Alright, so this is a very, very special snake. It's a banded krait, Bungarus fasciatus. These are one of the most toxic snakes in Thailand and in the world, actually. They're very, very specialist feeders. They feed almost exclusively on other snakes. I'm gonna actually come up onto the boardwalk here so I don't end up falling in the water.
Do you need a hand?
No, I got it. Alright, so this is a banded krait. This is the snake we were after tonight, Bungarus fasciatus. These are incredibly venomous, one of the most venomous snakes in Thailand and in the world, actually. And as you can see, they are not as aggressive at night as people make them out to be.
Yeah, because people always say that they're docile during the day but aggressive at night.
Look at this. Banded krait resting on my thumb.
So aggressive.
Super aggressive. But no, for real, this is not something we should mess around with because these have
He says while messing around with it.
These have an incredibly potent neurotoxin which can cause a whole bunch of things such as locked-in syndrome, where your whole body will be paralyzed but you'll be fully conscious. And these are very, very, very toxic.
And it's incredibly docile.
Yeah, incredibly docile, even at night, as you can see. And during the day they'll be very more twitchy because their eyes are super sensitive to light. This is a strictly nocturnal species. You would almost never find them during the day. And during the day they just hide their head under their coils to stay out of the light.
And what do these snakes hunt?
These are exclusively snake eaters, so they'll be hunting along the mangroves here in the water looking for keelbacks mainly. or any other snakes that they can catch, maybe even mangrove pit vipers. Yeah, they feed almost exclusively on other snakes, and a very common trait for snakes which are snake feeders is to have this triangular body shape with a very raised spine. Many other species which feed on snakes also have this feature. So the bright coloration of the snake functions as a warning to scare off predators, letting them know I'm highly venomous, which is absolutely true. They are extremely venomous, and being this venomous, they have no real reason to be super aggressive or defensive anyway, because their venom can do all the work. This snake has enough venom in one bite to kill me many times over.
And over the course of evolution, you think that a lot of animals would grow to avoid this colour scheme.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very eye-catching, like that black and white tape they put up at construction.
I mean, yeah, this sort of colour scheme is used worldwide as a warning.
Yeah. Very, very cool snake. Alright, so we've just taken a couple photos and admired it for a bit. Now I'm gonna just climb back down to where I caught it and let him go back in the same spot. Beautiful snake. Alright, I'm gonna get my torch. I'm gonna climb back down here. Gently lift them right back down into these rocks here. If you could go over to the other side. Gonna let him go right down here. So that's exactly the crack that he was trying to climb into when we caught him. Alright, cool.
Back on the path and back on the hunt, it did not take long at all before we found yet another black and yellow surprise.
So the others were actually just up ahead looking at us slow lures, and I was kind of stuck behind because I was photographing the last krait. And I was just walking slowly, and I found another one, sure enough, just here in these reeds. And this one is a lot bigger than the last one, as you can see. It's really quite thick. Let me try to get him out. It's sort of scurrying.
There we go.
He's a lot more active too than the last one, as you can see. Really a snake I want to be very careful with. Oh, he took a dump too.
There's a lot of them here.
Yeah, this one's being quite a bit more defensive than the last one. Gonna be super careful. Very twitchy little snakes. Well, large snakes. They're definitely very well fed, so I assume they'd be finding very many other small species of snake around here. I wonder if they'd actually even feed on their own species. Do you think they would, Rupert?
You know, I don't actually know. I haven't seen any kraits feeding on each other before.
Yeah. I've seen like photos from India of other species of kraits feeding on like Russell's vipers and stuff, so they might actually eat the mangrove vipers which are here as well.
I suspect so. That's an interesting...
Yeah, this one's being way more defensive than the previous one was.
Smells bad too.
Yeah, he does smell very bad.
You can tell this one's getting a little bit more stressed, which is weird considering the other one was pulled out from under a rock and this one you just picked up off the floor.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's late at night.
Is it late at night?
No.
No, it's 9 p.m.
Alright, so we're not going to spend too much time with this one. We're going to keep walking. Maybe we can find some more species of snake tonight. This one's definitely very cool. A lot bigger, much more defensive and active than the previous one was, which was super calm for the species.
Maybe because the previous one looked like it was just going into shed.
Yeah, that could actually be. This one, very twitchy compared to the other one, as you can see. Just going to let him go right here, not mess around with him too much. and keep herping. So here's the third little mangrove viper of the night. This one's really pretty.
Is this the third or is this the fourth?
This is the fourth.
Yeah.
My bad. And here is the Rupert.
It's actually bloody crazy, man. David was staring at a one-eyed perp that he found over on the other side of this stream here. And I was walking off, and you know, earlier David mentioned that there's a little keelback here that we reckon the krait feeds on. And even though our main target here was the banded krait, I was secretly, you know, hoping more than anything else that I would get this guy here. And this is it, Xenocrophis punctulatus. The reason this is so cool is because it's only found in this one tiny, tiny bit of Thailand. Like, you can only find it right here along the Burmese border in this tiny spot, and it lives in these sort of riperine mangrove habitats, which are very unique to the sort of mangrove habitats you get elsewhere in Thailand. And we've been hunting for ages. We'd seen, you know, 2 banded kraits, 3 perps at that point, and when we went down to film it right here, we just spotted another perp right there. Like, David spotted this one.
I nearly stepped on it while I was coming down to film you.
I mean, I stepped, well, no, I walked around, but I mean, I'm just so stoked to find this. I can't really say much because there isn't much known about this species. I know that it lives here, and I'm guessing it probably feeds on frogs, maybe guppies, since there's absolutely so many guppies along these little streams.
Mud skippers too.
Honestly, why am I saying guppies? I don't know why. Did I have guppies on the brain? Maybe, but thanks to David for clearing that up. I meant mud skippers.
And I just found it sleeping in a little bush over there. So obviously diurnal in habits. But it's, you know, not the prettiest snake I've ever seen, but it's definitely an interesting one, and one I could not be happier to find. And it's rare that you go out somewhere and you get your 3 target snakes in one night. So I'd say it's been a pretty successful day here.
Colors are almost like a juvenile southern king.
Yeah, you're actually right there. I didn't think of that. Alright, you know, not the most impressive snake in the world, but really, really special to find, and you know, it wraps up an amazing night here in the mangroves. So I found it just up in here, so I'm going to let it roll down into the bush. Hopefully it finds somewhere to nestle up or climb back up and go right back to rest where we found it earlier.
Alright, so we've been herping for about 3 hours now. We've had an extremely productive night. We found all 3 of our target species, the banded krait, mangrove pit viper, and the really rare keelback. So, yeah, what more can you want? It's been an awesome night, and we're all gonna go home now. We're pretty tired, it's late.
And very hungry.
And very hungry. Time to get some food.
Alright, let's go. What are you looking at, boss?
I just put the tail of the skink. Yeah. I wonder.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our newest video. Of course, we'll have another video coming out next week too, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video.